Hello everybody. Today I'm checking out the new retouching features using AI in Adobe Lightroom Classic. I just attended a event in San Francisco last week and saw some demonstrations and thought I would try it out. Here you see a portrait of my brother, and they are vertical portraits because that is the orientation needed for the website and social media. And you can see that there are a few areas that are distracting here, mainly the sofa, that his big dog bit a hole in the sofa. So first I'm going to crop in a bit for an aspect ratio that's usable, maybe something like that without clipping out his feet. And then I did some basic adjustments in the basic panel. You can always try the auto adjustment to see how that works. I wasn't happy in this case with it reducing the warmth. It's thrown off because I do have a strobe in the image, and also there are some wall color that is kind of confusing the automatic adjustment here. I'm going to go ahead and zoom in. I did use a rather high ISO, so I have some noise. Also, the high ISO was so that I could capture some of the ambient light in combination with the flash that I introduced to fill in a bit. And so I'm just going to go through my basic panel here and check out. I'm going to try the denoise filter. The denoise filter is another AI improvement in later versions of Lightroom, and I find that it does a really good job. In the old days, anything denoise just meant blur. But in this case, it does a pretty good job of maintaining the details without too much blurriness. When in doubt, less is more with these tools. You want to just get the minimum amount to actually see a difference. So I'm going to go ahead and choose Enhance, and I can put this in the before and after view so that you can see what's going on here. And we are in the development module. A little bit of difference, maybe not a whole lot. And it says that the result will be saved as a new DNG file. So it is now working on a DNG, or should be a DNG. So let's see where it puts the DNG. That's a whole nother question. Because this says CR3, so it's still working on the Canon file. But we'll look at that. I'll check that out in a moment. You can also do some manual noise adjustments here, but don't be careful how much you do, because it may soften the image a bit. And the other thing I like to do is this auto transform to transform the distortion on the image. And then I might do like a linear mask, a linear gradient mask, to bring out some more of the details here of the wall. I liked the gradient getting a little darker up there. And then I might also add a brush. Let's see, click here, add a brush tool, and brush in some more brightness in the lights. And just a little bit more, so it has some directional qualities. Okay, and I could work with this for a while longer to perfect it, but what I really wanted to show you was the new retouching tools. So if we zoom in on this area here, I have selected the new Remove tool, and I'm going to check Generative AI. You have to read the agreement and agree to it. When you check mark this box, a website will come up. But watch what happens. I was prepared to not be impressed, but I have to say, I'm pretty impressed. And then normally I would take this image into Photoshop to work on this, but this does a pretty decent job. And then, you can kind of get the bulk of it removed here. Oh, that did a worse job than before. The one that I did in a previous image did a better job. Let's try this again. If I take a little more of the image and say remove, it replaced the whole. Okay, so you can do it a couple of times until you get something you're satisfied with. And then basically what I would do is that I would then use the retouching tool, like the healing brush, to kind of patch areas that needed more help. And I would probably right click and do that in Photoshop, but we could try this a few more times and just see, if it does lend a good start. Part of the challenge, I think, is also that this area is on the edge. There's a transition here with this vase, and so the machine is getting a little confused. Yeah, you see that if you delete and just kind of try over and over again, maybe I'll take more of a section from here and less of a section from here and see if that works in helping it to sample. In the past, these automated tools sometimes would drive me crazy because by the time I got something that looked good, I could go in and retouch it manually. And then the other thing that's pretty cool is that there's 3 variations that it offers. So you can look through and see which one is the best. None of them are perfect, but I might take that one because I like the way the buttons are working, and then I might go over this area again, or I might just delete the whole thing and try it one more time. This is a real life demo, which means it doesn't work perfect the first time. Hit remove. Try it many, many times here and go through the variations. And I'm going to go ahead and choose number 2 and go ahead and zoom out. Number 2. Yeah. And then I would probably bring the image in Photoshop and finish it off. But sometimes that may not be necessary. So here's another area we could work on here. These small areas are pretty easy. And for the small areas where you don't need AI, you can uncheck AI. If I wanted to clean up the shoes here, let's try that. It does a pretty good job. Small little blemishes, does a good job. Now this big rip right here, let's see what happens here without the AI. Oh, pretty good. I mean, I would want to zoom in with this invisible, rolling off of it. Looks good. All right, let's just try this whole area here. I mean, this doesn't look great, but let's try it again. Maybe if I take a wider swath, it'll sample from somewhere else. No, I don't like where it's sampling from. Maybe I'll just try this little area here and it samples from over here. So you could do a little bit at a time. And that may solve some of this weird stuff that's happening. At this point, I'm inclined to try the AI. Let's try AI. But again, this is a challenging area because there is a transition in the edge here where it goes from light to dark, and also where it has a cord. But you know what? That looks pretty great. So use it yourself. See what you think. I think it can be a great shortcut. It may not be perfect every time, but it's a good shortcut. And then you can go in and use the retouching tools over the top to kind of finesse or fine tune what maybe the machine wasn't able to do. I mean, this is certainly a better starting point than I had before.